And I want to talk to you today about the fact that kids are getting those weight loss shots. I'm going to not name them. You already know because they're all over the news. You already know what they are, but they're getting those weight loss shots. Oh my God. I'm just amazed because, I work in a psychiatric hospital and teens get psychotropic drugs, antipsychotics, antidepressants. But these teens have had horrible episodes of suicide attempts and depression, and that landed them in there. And I understand that more than I understand this because I'm going to talk to you more about these weight loss drugs, which will remain nameless, but you know what I'm talking about. I've got to read you some of this stuff from NBC News Now, it's called. NBC News. This was posted online on the 21st. Let me read this. Demi Buckley initially tried to lose weight through diet and exercise, she said, but despite her efforts, nothing worked. The 16-year-old from Saginaw, Michigan said it was really discouraging to watch other girls do the same workouts as her. I didn't know what was wrong with me, why I couldn't lose weight. Her mother, Deanna, understood what it was like to struggle with her weight. She had had bariatric surgery over 20 years ago, but didn't lose as much weight as she needed to. What does that mean? It wasn't until she started taking, and it'll remain nameless, a diabetes drug often prescribed off label for weight loss that she started to see results. I'm already appalled. I'm already appalled. Um, you know, um, these results opened Demi up to the idea of trying a weight loss drug herself. Now, evidently, she started it in March 2023, not long after the FDA, which some people call the Faster Death Association, approved it for use in adolescents as young as 12. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I need to adjust my crown. There you go. It was slipping. Uh, the weight loss, she said, hasn't just transformed her appearance, but her mental health as well. Demi says she's been able to go off medication for anxiety and depression. Okay. Um, wow. Now that I'm confident in my body, I can be confident in my mind, and that helps me a lot, she said. Um, and then there's another one that's noted in this article, another weight loss drug. Obviously, these are off label, and a lot of these are off label, which is really bad. Um, it's just kind of very interesting that this other kid, similar story for 15-year-old Brandon Gallagher of Los Angeles, California. He also had depression, said his weight contributed to those feelings. And I know I work with teens every day in the hospital, and a lot of them are depressed about their weight. And I understand that. After his doctor started prescribing him again, off label months ago, he said he's lost 25 pounds. And it says in parenthesis, the drug is not approved for people under 18. Here's my take on this, and I could read further. Oh, let me read this. Roadblocks and pushback. This was interesting. The AAP's recommendations, while welcomed by many doctors, were met with fierce pushback, including from groups concerned with eating disorders. Oh my God, don't get me started because I work with eating disorders on a daily basis. Other experts said they are concerned about the unintended consequences of the drugs, such possible effects on growth and development. Yeah, we don't know. A pediatric pulmonologist at UCI Health in Irvine, California, co-wrote a paper outlining such worries. We wrote this paper to kind of say, hey, let's think about these things before we just start prescribing these medications for kids. Duh. Uh, um, Anyway, and of course, the company that makes the drug said, found their medicines did not appear to affect growth, uh, um, adding that the decision to prescribe an anti-obesity medication is at the discretion of the physician, which obviously are not being too discreet because they're prescribing drugs for a 15-year-old when it's only approved for 18-year-olds, and FDA just approved uh, a drug for use for adolescents as young as 12. Give me a break. I know about the history of these drugs. I was there when fen was a huge craze, and then it got a black box warning that it causes eosinophilia myalgia syndrome, which you don't want to get. And then that was taken off the market. And 2 seconds later, they came out with Fenpro. Where is Fenpro now? Gone the way of all these drugs. I'm very, very scared that people are prescribing these things to kids for several reasons. Number one, the research says, and they're not telling you, that as soon as you go off these drugs, because you really can't do them forever, that you just gain weight again, which is true with all of these drugs. You can't take these drugs for a long period of time. The number two, I think we're really getting to a place where we're not really addressing the root cause, which is fat shaming, and 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 because the kids tell me every day when I work in the hospital that people bully them for their weight, and even their parents. I think I said that I talked to somebody yesterday who said that her dad always asked her about her weight. Duh. I mean, geez, we get a lot of information. Now, I'm not shaming parents, but I'm saying that a lot of information about fat shaming comes from so many people. It comes from your peers, it comes from your family. I'm sorry to say, it comes from people that just meet you on the street. And it shouldn't be that way. Number one. Number two, the problem is that kids eat too much fast food, kids eat too much processed food. It causes, a lot of these things have something called obesogens, and I didn't put the link in the chat here because I want you to join my Good Gut group if you want to join. And there's the link below, hearyourhealthnow.com/Good Gut group. But there are these things called obesogens that actually cling to the receptors on your cells and keep the thyroid out. The thyroid, which is here your gland, produces hormones that that um, that are like your thermostat, on your wall. They turn up the heat or they turn down the heat. And if those hormones can't get in, you're turning down the heat because you can't regulate the cell. So they're not addressing any of that. They're addressing the whole fat shaming. You shouldn't be fat. You don't feel good. And the whole thing about that I talk to my eating disorder clients every day about um, is your is your whole self-worth tied up with a number on the scale? It's horrifying. Let's not do this to kids. Let us not give kids these drugs because we don't know long term what these are. And also, it even said a diabetes drug. Again, we're using drugs for other reasons than what they're supposedly used for. And that frightens me. I don't understand why Botox, which is used to, get wrinkles off your face, is used for migraines. It makes no sense to me. Has it been researched? I don't know because I haven't looked at the research, but it scares me. And now we're using drugs for our kids to make them feel better and be thinner. This is like a vicious cycle, a cycle that starts with fat shaming from people who are usually fatter, which starts with let's give it a drug, not do some psychological shifts um, that possibly could help the person become more happy with their size and content with their size than try and go for an unrealistic expectation. And three, we're putting food in their mouths that causes them to be fat and and not helping them deal with that. So where are we with this? This is just mind-boggling to me. Okay. So really, I'm really concerned about these kids because when they go off this, which they have to eventually, and there are side effects, and I'll talk about that in another stream. Um, where are we going with this? Is this just going to be in the trash heap again, just like Fen and FenPro? Well, I hope so, because basically it doesn't address the root cause, which is fat shaming, which is poor eating, which is a lot of stuff, which is lack of exercise. So that's all I got to say today. And I hope you enjoyed it. Okay. Good, Queen Jill signing off. I'll see you tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to talk about.